Hello, and welcome back to my 5-year plan playthrough of RP-1. Well, I guess I should say ours at this point.
No, I think it's yours. I'm just here as the online peanut gallery.
Eh,
I will take credit for very little here.
I mean, particularly with the landing, valuable. Kept messing up the. Reminds me,
Oh,
I
you
should
got
take the
there.
next. Sorry.
Yeah, I said, you got there.
Yeah, eventually, finally, I had an actually decent time. Although, sadly, that's going to be the last for a bit because there's only contracts.
Well, you
So,
have the Far Side lander too.
right, but I was going to wait for throttable engines. Although I thought about it some, and I guess I don't need to wait for throttable engines. I think I just, because the system that we now have is full.
Yeah, you didn't seem to. I mean, it's still an effort, but not that bad of an effort, especially when the RCS is close to balancing your
Yeah,
probe.
yeah, that was working. Um, but yeah, it's I need to start building. Um, that's not a lot of fun. I need to start building the lunar orbiter and mapper. Will also science, which will also level of comms real. I build it. While. Oh yeah, it's lander dead. But well, got to turn on. That's a lot of science. We now no longer lack for science. We really have to do the thing where we factor science in Earth orbit and less science.
I guess so. I mean, how would you do that other than rebalancing, add more crude experiments?
Um, no, just decrease the body multiplier at the moon, and then, or decrease the body multiplier basically everywhere but Earth, a little bit, and then bump up experiment values.
Hmm.
Particularly of later experiments. Could also add more specific experiments, but
I guess to me, like it's so rote to put up a satellite in Earth orbit that like there's like I realized that most science that went on, people launched satellites into space for were Earth observation satellites, and I look forward to Pat doing his own stuff with that Earth observation program. But like just moving the science to Earth just removes a challenge.
I think it does. But the other thing that it does is it gives you the opportunity or launch vehicle continue launch. Like the the reason, like the programs are the funds reason for that, but the science reason that has to be.
Mhm. I guess so. Like I don't know. Like there's still a lot you can do with an R7. Like you can explore the whole solar system, especially as your tech to make smaller, lighter probes goes further. I'm not sure if anything lighter than an R7 needs to exist long term.
I mean, R7 is 300 tons.
Okay, fine. You could still do a lot of this with a 150-ton vehicle.
Hey, Green Snow Shower. So actually, yes. Thank you for reminding me that I have to do something proton-like, um, because I need to start building that launch complex for.
I guess my counter argument, sorry to keep going here, is like if you allow some way for, like, I guess we can find like niche uses, but light vehicles, like with LCs, they're just, like they can be built without any opportunity cost. And I think we've spoken about this before. So preserving them means that, like these things are free almost to the player. Like before, like you had a limited number of VAP slots, and the way that the rocket construction costs worked, a light vehicle wasn't proportionate to its size in terms of construction time.
It kind of was.
There was some sublinear factors going on there. Cost.
I think the sublinearity was very. It's been so long, like I don't quite remember that formula, but I remember
definitely some power curve, especially since you're addicted to power curves for tuning.
Yeah,
and then there was also just the high initial BP cost, but that kind of went away once you're over 60 tons.
Well, that's stupid. Interesting. Because this. Okay. Mile. Oh, because there's 4. Why? These things just. Their reliability is just so bad. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Okay, so engine rated heat shield. Also, eventually. You're kidding.
What's wrong?
The docking port you don't actually get until. Sure. All right. I was expecting I would be able to dock Soyuz at the start. Nope. So I need to that notice. That'll push.
Greenhouse power. Sorry, go ahead. What do you think the audio issue is? Like, we have trouble diagnosing it because I'm speaking to him on Discord and he's.
Which one of us
maximal?
keeps coming in and out?
peanut gallery man or the primary guy? Okay, well, I guess I'll wait for our reply and adjust my audio if
Oh,
necessary.
I keep going in and out? That's weird.
It's odd. Yeah, I hear you just fine on Discord.
Huh. That's strange.
Maybe she's not used to your non sequiturs. Sorry, that was a dig.
Maybe. Um, could also be that my gating is too low or something.
Possibly if that's set differently in OBS versus Discord.
All right, let's see if that's any better. Probably not.
Hey, Green Snow Shower, thanks for the feedback, by the way. Keep us on our toes, and
Yep.
it might take a little bit to diagnose, but we want to fix it.
Yeah. I wonder if
See, Green Snow Shower, if you expected him to say something after if, he didn't actually.
yeah, I was just wondering if it, yeah, I think it may have gotten set to the wrong mic somehow. So, wonder if this is better now.
Guess we'll see.
Yep.
Green says it now sounds better, so hopefully, yeah, that fixed it.
Okay, and I also messed with my noise gating a little bit more, just in case.
Okay.
So, might pick up a little more background noise, but hopefully it's fine. Okay. That done. Gonna go back and so we need that. Then we need lunar rated heat shields so we can go around the moon.
Hey, no,
Why
Mr.
the
Band.
why the heck is that in that node?
That's an odd
That's
space for it.
annoying. Gotta fix that.
Though I do remember legacy-wise, we used to have a lot of
Yeah.
decouplers in these nodes.
Yeah.
But I guess this one just didn't get moved out.
Yeah. Let's see. It was the Zon decoupler, right? Yeah. There we are. Okay. Made that change. Okay, so that'll be fixed next time. That all done. I guess we can start thinking about our lunar landing. Although, need to think about architecture at some point. So I'll save my science for now to figure out what to get later. But that does mean that I have to move up this. Because otherwise we won't actually be able to complete the docking part of the contract.
Yep.
So that's sad. So no, Mr. Bond, it does not, because I'm not anywhere near actually flying Soyuz. So we're not actually going to need the astronaut. Well, we need the astronaut complex for EVA, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, this was about second generation capsules, not about this. Right, never mind. Okay, so now I guess we start designing our next launch vehicle. I realize I've never actually named my first launch vehicle. I named the probe that the satellite that I launched on it, and then all the other payloads, but I never actually named the launch vehicle.
I mean, that's very Soviet of you, right?
Yeah, usually it just takes the name of its payload.
Yeah.
Which at this point, I mean, clearly the base version, I guess we just call Vanguard to match the satellite, and then the variant with the RD-105 was clearly called Lightning because I launched so many of them. Although the later ones also had the bigger engine. Eastward was basically block 2 of it, and then Lightning block 2 had the RD-107, which I guess is also just Luna. And then the upgraded Luna has the 11D33 engine on it. All right.
Well,
so
once you tackle that manufacturing system, you'll have meaningfully named
yes,
boosters
that will
and
be
not
nice.
just payloads. What are we building?
So I'm grabbing this just so I can have the pre-built bits that I'm going to cannibalize. So bye-bye boosters. Bye-bye launch and umbilicals. Oh, oops. Right. The engine is underneath. We'll call our new booster progress. Okay, so we'll keep our existing, whatever this thing is. I need to merge the latest of these. Whoops. Didn't mean to delete that. Let's get it back. Okay. Now, what do we need to do? We need to, let's get rid of the first stage. So historically Proton was 3-stage because this has a rated burn time of about 4 minutes. This has a rated burn time of, really? 2 minutes and 30 seconds? That's it?
Is that a core? That's the side booster.
Proton doesn't have boosters. No, this is the second stage of Proton.
Right. Okay.
Which is kind of nuts. Which is, I think, why the RD-254 is quite valuable. So let's get that unlocked as well. Because I don't think I'm going to want to deal with a 2 minute and 30 seconds second stage. That's just a waste of money.
I mean, that's what your RD-107s do.
Huh? No, they're 4 minutes.
Are they?
The RD-107, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Okay. There is a 4-meter stage. We need better set motors. Those things are not cutting it.
Are you sure about that? I really don't think the RD-107s burn for 4 minutes. I thought the RD-108 burns for 5, but
I think you're confusing the second stage and the boosters.
I'm talking about the boosters.
Yeah, those burn for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But I was talking about the second stage of Proton.
Okay.
So Proton is serial staging, not parallel staging.
Sure. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So, like, boosters 2 minutes makes sense. For a second stage, 2 minutes is very short.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about your first stage engines. Yeah, it's weird that the first, second stage to only be 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep, gotcha. Okay. And the real historic one, that doesn't seem to be true anyway. The first stage, yes, is only 2 minutes long, but the second stage is 3.5.
First config has that rated burn time. The RD-213. Oh, maybe I just have the wrong version of these engines.
Yeah, second stage is RD-0201. Oh, sorry, RD-0210. And RD-0211. Yeah, that's the second stage.
Yeah, okay. I just got very confused. What was I looking at? Was that like the first stage of something else?
I don't know. What were you looking at? I'll look it up. What was the engine? 213?
RDO 206. Oh, wait a minute. That's weird. The RDO 206 and RDO 213 says were used on the third stage of Proton. But there's also the RD 0205 or 0212.
This thing that I'm reading says the RD-0212 is the third stage Proton.
Yeah. So where was the 0206 used? The 023.
I don't know. Astronautics says it was used on UR200 stage 2, although I know UR200 became the Proton, right?
UR500 did. UR200 was
Okay.
the small.
ICBM.
I mean, UR500 was originally supposed to be a super ICBM too. Okay, I think I maybe understand what's going on here. So this thing is
RD-0205.
yes, this is the single engine and 4 verniers.
Yes.
used on the second stage of the UR200. It's not
Not what?
really used on the third stage of the Proton because it's used in this form on that stage,
Okay.
which features 4 of them, I believe. That's what's going on.
Okay, so what Wiki is saying is that RD0212, the later version of that, is the third stage of Proton, and then you've got 4, really 3 RD0210s and 1 RD211s as the second stage of Proton. That's the one you've got 4 engines on. Where's the RD0211? Like, that's the 210 that is, they say you have 3 of them on the second stage.
Yeah, so what the heck is this then?
That 206, 213?
Yeah.
Okay, let me look. So again, Astronautics is claiming the 206 is the second stage of the UR200, 213. One sec. That one is saying that the 213 is the third stage of Proton on Astronautics, but very confusing. Couldn't they give them better names? Apparently the RD212, which is what Wiki claims is on the third stage, consists of an RD02113 and with the RD02114 vernier engines.
Okay.
I think you just make a rocket that makes sense.
Yes. Yes, basically all 3 of these engines are broadly the same. One is the single chamber and 4 verniers. One is a fixed version, and one is this with a gimbal.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. We don't have any truss interstages that are conical.
True.
That said, it appears that Proton only has a truss between the first and second stage rather than second and third or third and Block D. So sure. But yeah, this one I'm not gonna do it more. I'm gonna do even less of a replica than I did in the other. Um,
Sounds reasonable.
okay. Basic avionics. I think we want something like 700 tons. Ton worth of avionics. How heavy is this? Let's see. Three and a half tons. So making it 4.5 tons is really doing a number on its mass ratio for the avionics. We might consider doing something about that. That said, we're going to have better avionics by the time we fly this, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see. Payload. Two. Coupler off. This needs to be conical. Okay, that works.
Mass ratio, if you won't be as bad also because you're certainly going to try and put something heavier than what you've got on there.
Yeah. What the heck is going on with the staging? It's confusing. So that engine ignites there. Oh, because this is the... Right, that's the probe. Okay, it's burn time. It's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That seems very short.
Yes, it does. All of them 2 minutes and 30 seconds or just those?
So the initial config... Oh yes, of course it explains. I could have just looked here.
Okay, so the initial config sucks and you should get the next one.
Yes. None of these say what the tech required is. But sure, we'll go with that.
If you hover over the purchase, it doesn't say it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, that's 67? Yikes. Alright, well, I guess we don't get that. Well, we could just go with this, because this has gimbal. Yeah, that seems better in every way. Oh, it's still only 2 minutes and 30 seconds, though. It has a longer tested burn time, at least. This is the one with the gimbal, right? Is this the one with the gimbal? Well, that's deeply confusing. This is 10 kilograms lighter, but it has gimbal.
Yeah, don't look at me. Seems weird.
Oh, it has single axis gimbal. So yeah, no, we need the other engine for the third stage. Okay. It's a very short third stage. A very short third stage.
Are you really gonna build the short burn version?
I mean, I don't want to wait for 1967.
Okay.
Because it needs another material science node. Okay. This gets that. And its burn time is also 2 minutes and 30 seconds. going to overburn it slightly, just to not be bonkers. And the following config rated burn time is 238. So just shy of 4 minutes. Let's look at how long this stage would be at 4 minutes. 8.162. This is a long boy.
Yep.
Okay. That's actually not that long.
We haven't put another stage on there yet.
All right, I have to make this make sense. Let's see. Goes there. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there. Oh, tank isn't filled yet. That's weird. How did... Oh, because I switched tank types. That's why. Yes. That's what's going on. All right, and where does it go from there? All right, it stays at 4 minutes. All right, I'm not too annoyed at the length of that stage. So I'm gonna stay at 4 meters for that stage. Okay. So that looks fine. Now, the one annoying thing is the way Proton gets away with okay, that's disabled. Gets away with having this is because it has that weird thing where there's a central tank and then the 4 outside tanks, which I don't really want to replicate, and I want a monoblock tank. Also pretty sure those engines are not going to fit.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like it. But if you're going for a monoblock tank, presumably it's going to be a fatter monoblock tank, and then you'll have a conical interstage. Which you can't do.
No, I was actually going to have a conical nose to the tank.
Okay.
Because I want to keep the truss because I'm going to be hot staging this.
Okay.
Get a little bit tighter. All right. There. Now it should just fit. Yes. That's tight but doable. All right. And I want that for the mount. So I can get rid of that engine. And then I need kind of nose. That'll do. That works perfectly. Exactly what I hoped. Question is, do I want long or short? Probably can get away with long. Because I'm not going to need anywhere near as tall a tank for this as the real Proton. And the reason for that is because real one has so much empty space. RD 253. Let's try with 6. Your rated burn time is 2 minutes and 28 seconds.
Do you think you can get to 1966 RSC engines?
Probably. Which would let me replace the second stage.
Yeah. What I was thinking.
Yeah, that's why I queued it up, so that I could test it out if I preferred.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's a fairly short stage. This does look very Russian.
I mean, I think with those fences, it's going to look Russian, but if you replace them with regular interstages, it'd look more like a Saturn almost.
It would look like some of the plans for Saturn 1 of like sticking other missiles on top.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Earth. 1.34. That's Alright, so here's this version. Oh, let's give it a boat tail. So. What?
A little too long of a boat tail.
Yeah. We don't have any good options. Oops. Thought I'd hit 2. Apparently not. That's a little tighter, which means now I can put the shroud on. Although let's move these down a little bit first. There. That's reasonable. Alright, so here's this version of the rocket. Given that we'll mostly be doing lunar things with it, I assume, let's give it something real heavy. QI bid. Okay.
Beryllium works too, I guess.
Yeah. All right, so let's see just how much we can chuck to the moon. And the answer is quite a lot.
Be helpful if you cleared out that tank that's above your 4th stage tank that you don't really need there.
Sorry, which tank?
4th stage tank, the one right below the fairing.
This?
Yeah, that one.
I mean, that's for, because I'm seeing how much I can get to the moon.
Oh,
So
okay.
That's my...
That's your moonstead. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
And the answer is I can burn this entire thing for TLI, and I still have way too much delta V. Which means I really need an engine upgrade. Yeah, yes, that's what's going on. Because I'll get that when I get, soon after I get the other thing. So let's remove and refill it with that. And we can now make it 5 minutes instead of just 4.5. Extend this even further. Okay, that's still...
Much LEO capability.
Yeah, that's still too much. We're at only 655 tons. We are reasonably tall. Alex, I don't know that much about the physics of boat tails. That is not a area of my expertise, I'm sorry to say. Okay. So here's all this. Sorry?
I was gonna say you could put a second 11 D33 on there.
Yes. Yes, I could have a real big transfer stage. Or we could just say, we'll probably just wait for the RD-58, which runs for a ginormous amount of time. Has a 10-minute rated burn time.
Yeah, fair. You can certainly do that. Although if you're going to 67, then it'd be a different rocket too. You'd have the other engines and a longer third stage. But yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Definitely could. I mean, you can do either one of those. Just like, you know, it seems reasonable to figure out what the realistic fourth stage TLI weight is before you try swapping out the RD 254, I think. Yeah.
All right. The other thing that we need to do is this is basically 10 tons over our avionics limit. Let's go up to 15 tons for a bunch of leeway and a bunch of coast. Yeah, so 20 kilograms.
Yeah, I think you should go up to 20.
Yep.
Proton should be able to put 20 into LEO, right?
Yeah, just in case we need to burn that stage too. The other thing we might as well do is increase the tech of those thrusters. Okay. But yeah, it kind of burns me that we're not taking full advantage of this launch vehicle.
What do you mean?
We don't need almost 12 km/s to get into orbit.
Yeah, but that's why you put a second engine on your fourth stage.
Yes.
Mess it up.
Yeah, I also want to know how much payload we can get into orbit. total burn time, with that total burn time, it's probably in that lift-off thrust-to-weight ratio. It's probably about. No, that's a little too. Probably about there.
Mm-hmm.
But let's give it a little margin. All right. So how heavy is that all told? We're talking about 24 tons.
Okay.
We'll scrape off a few tons for bearing-based fairings, but yeah, that's a sizable lower throat payload. Yes, I have made quite a few mods for KSP, Andrew.
Including the ones he's playing right
Including
now.
all of these, yes. Well, I mean,
Real
not this, because
proton.
this is mostly SSTU tanks that PAP, some help from some other folks, turned into RO tanks. I didn't make the parts. A lot of the code's mine.
Real proton is 21 tons to LEO.
Yeah. Yeah, I would assume that I'd do better than the real one.
Mm-hmm.
That's 525. Each of these is 300. All right, so this is a much cheaper deal, first of all. Yeah, this is just like basically better in every way.
Yep.
In fact, I wonder whether I could get away. The thrust-weight ratio would be kind of nuts. Like, the nice thing about this is that the maxes remain pretty sane. But let's see what.
254 for the burnout, or
Sorry?
what were you thinking?
What I'm thinking is, what if we went down to 2 stages?
Oh, okay.
So we had like 24 tons, and then this thing. All right. So let's get rid of this. Get rid of these. That. One of these better have actual gimbal though. Cooked if it doesn't. Yes, it does have 5 degrees of gimbal. It also doesn't fit in a 4-meter diameter stage. Cool. I guess it's going to be a 5-meter diameter stage. Oh yeah, and we have SM3 available. I forgot about that too. 700. Okay. It's fine. This goes up to 5 meters. Okay.
Yes, that's true, Senji. It was also Dev for a while. She used to sneak in a lot of improvements for his mods later on. As
I
well
mean,
as doing
amongst
good
other
work there.
things. But
Yep.
yes.
Get some feelings snarky today.
Yeah. 3 minutes, 45 seconds on this thing. Yeah, probably going to need 3 stages after all.
Because of the short burn time. Yep.
3 minutes and 45 seconds is just not really enough. I mean, we can get to 150 by 150 purely, but not much more than that.
I do like the amount of delta V you're getting out of that, though.
I mean, yes. Yeah, I would broadly expect slightly more delta V than in the other situation. Not a ton more, but just enough. Let's see. Guess we want a boat tail for this now. Meters. It can be very short. This can go back to I wonder if I can actually do something like this. No, it's going to look horrible if I do that. Give it or something rounded, but it'll look horrible. Now the problem is to fit all 6 of those, I can't go down to 5 meters, which I was hoping to do.
No. I mean, but you could make the other one 6 meters if you wanted to.
Yeah, but it'd be real short.
Yeah, but not as bad if you put in a 3rd stage anyway.
Whereas if I went up to 7.5 on this, what would this look like? It'd have to be real short.
I go to 7.5.
Sorry?
I go to 7.5.
Because then it matches this. It's the 3:2 ratio of 5.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a pretty short stage.
Yep. I think it would probably be better to see if you could go down to like 5.5 with the bottom stage and then just make it straight.
Yeah. Yeah, or figure out alternative. Alternative approaches. Let's look at one of those alternate approaches right now. Nose 1. Nose 2. How ludicrous is this gonna look? Probably pretty ludicrous.
Looking kind of funny already.
These are all the oblong ones. Oh, 4 to 3. We can do 4 to 3. Cool. Right. Which means this needs to go down to 4.5. which we just barely can do. There's just a little tiny bit of that. Otherwise, it's fine. Actually, we can go to 4.6 on this and just have the truss move down a little bit, because that solves that problem. Get to be 5. Oops, 4.6. That wrong. Okay. Now, this needs to be a little longer. There's the gap.
Green Snow Shard, just personal preference on his part. Also, that he's doing a proton, so there's no radial boosters really. They just kind of look like they're radial boosters.
Yeah, they're just additional tanks, like how Saturn 1B had a bunch of tanks around the central tank. But yeah, the reason, the gameplay reason for that is then I don't have to tool multiple diameters. Always nice. Alright, so that just has to sit inside a little bit and then fine. Cool, okay. What was the burn time on this? It was
345 for the upper one and 150 for the lower one.
Yeah.
Sorry, 150 seconds for the lower one.
Yeah.
2. The lower ones are longer than that.
Yeah, no, I haven't fixed the low yet. Okay. This thing now. Yeah, we'll actually stay at 235 and overburn it ever so slightly. And we can stay at like that. All right.
Yeah, but those are
So this is a lot shorter, but yeah, so slightly less delta V, but it's a way cheaper launch vehicle. And it's also like 30 tons lighter. Sorry?
No, nothing. Never mind. Or those are the RD-253s at the bottom right.
Yeah. Okay.
I personally like this one better, but it's up to you.
I mean, this is way the heck cheaper, so I like this one better. Like, I think it's the correct version.
Yeah, a little Proton and one hybrid.
Yep. Yeah, that's a little bit short and squat, but it's fine. And if we
Well, you can
actually
have.
had if we go to the like dual engine beyond
Yeah, I
Earth
was gonna
orbit
say
stage,
either if you do a third stage or just a bigger. Like if you add a third stage in between and keep that as your fourth, or the third stage remains that, but then you just burn the end of it. Either way, it's gonna be longer.
yeah, the fact that it's 1.4 off the pad means that I would definitely want something to be longer.
Yeah.
But does this have higher rated burn time upgrade path?
When you say this, which one?
The RD-254. 225, 25, 25, 225, 225. Everything's all. Oh, that one's 129.
Yeah, I was gonna say it has a shorter, shorter burn time path if you want that.
Well, that's weird. Eh. All right, the heck is the difference with these? Wait, why is the tooltip? Oh, because the width of this is so wide that it's screwing with the tooltip.
Mm-hmm.
That's annoying. Because we're not setting the buttons to fixed width, I guess. Well, let me just open it. Here. So, main one says RD-254 prototype is the main one, extrapolated from early RD-253 performance, subconfig 1. Uses high density acid, AK-27. This version of RD-254, higher thrust at the cost of efficiency because it's denser oxidizer. And it loses some impulse. And then there's the UDMH LOX version, much higher performance, but it requires cryogenic fuels. I mean, that seems real good.
Yeah,
Given
that's a
that
lot
we're
of extra
not,
performance.
yeah. Then there's an upgrade that has a little higher thrust and performance. And it has its own changes, and then speculative mid-70s upgrade. Cool, okay. So yes, we want this. Pretty sure. And this will extend the length of the stage because LOX is less dense. All right, that didn't actually change our lift-off thrust-to-weight ratio. Yeah, the downside of this version is that, oh, you know what, though? I wonder if I could just get away with fewer boosters, maybe.
Why?
Because we don't need 1.4 off the pad.
True.
The real question is, like, how much TLI can we push with just a RD-58? And it can have a 10-minute burn time. Although I think I probably want isogrid tanks for this.
Those weren't already isogrid. I guess those were before we upgraded.
No, they're refined ale stringer.
Okay.
I mean, actually, it's not going to matter that much for the mass ratio because it's the one with the payload. Like, it'll matter some, but. All right, let's see what we can do with a single. RD-8. $7.4 tons.
Yep, and your LEO is bang on still.
Yep. I don't recall offhand what the mass of a Zond Soyuz was. Launch mass was of Zond 8 was only 5.4 tons. So as it happens, that's probably enough performance for us to take it to the moon, enter lunar orbit, and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Be my guess. Maybe only enter lunar orbit. Maybe only do a free return. But it wouldn't take that much to upgrade to. Yep, and you're right that is pretty much spot on for going to low Earth orbit.
Yeah.
Uh, Interesting question is power consumption would be 166 watts. What's 166 watts times? How long do we need? We need, call it 3 days, 3.5 days. That's somewhere around 50K electricity. Or we could use deep space avionics. My hunch is that in SM3 tanks, 50K electricity is going to be lighter than making this deep space avionics. So let's see what happens.
To do what with the free return?
Yeah, it's only 90 kilograms. So,
Which need 7 days.
No. To do lunar orbit, to send this to the moon and then use this stage for lunar orbit insertion.
Okay.
So,
an unguided thing?
sorry?
I mean, an unmanned thing?
No, send a Zond there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Probably have to use a different stage for leaving the moon. I'm not sure. Yeah, the Soyuz doesn't have enough onboard propulsion to get home again. But
Yep. Yeah, your only kind of concern here is Alex Hudson does have a good point that
yeah, that a 10-minute burn there is not great. Might have to do it over 2 orbits. But with Principia, that's not actually a problem.
I was going to say another issue is that you still you're trying to get, you don't have enough time to orbit. So I would consider putting 2 RD-58s on there and then burn that for like 2 minutes at the end, and then you'll also have a faster TLI.
Yes, that makes sense.
You might need to make that upper stage a little fatter, but otherwise, be good.
Yeah, that could work. But it would be more like 8 minutes probably, given that we're only chucking 5.5 tons.
Sure.
And 8 minutes is not that bad in a 200-kilometer orbit, really. Like, that's what I'd expect for a Centaur departure burn.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about like the maximum payload version if you want to put more stuff on there.
Yep. Yeah, because we still have to grow. Oh, oops, I didn't notice I even picked beryllium. You mentioned it before, but I thought you were just saying, or I could use that, but it was because.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it, but it didn't matter really. So.
Yeah, I mean, lead is a little heavier, but not that much heavier. No, I guess it's meaningfully heavier.
What's Soyuz's diameter?
My recollection is somewhere around 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tool this,
Yeah, okay.
but I mean, I don't even have all the stuff unlocked.
Sure.
But yeah, this is a. Wait, why is that say 1 minute and. Oh,
You're mostly doing this so that you'll know what LC to construct.
Yeah, exactly.
Presumably, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, given that I'm not going to do this until I have the other stuff anyway, we might as well just switch the avionics over to improved avionics. And I guess we need 25 tons, not.
Yep.
And it's 185 watts, so call it 4.5 days at 0.185. 86,400 is 72K. Okay. So yeah, we can send that out to the moon and it can hang out for a little bit. Yeah, batteries just got a lot lighter. And this one proved avionics, 700 tons, 600. All right. What I'm going to do in this case is chuck this here. Do that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll use that. Those look better. Okay. All right. That all looks not unreasonable.
Yeah, it looks like you could build an LC for 660 or so, with a little bit of
Yeah.
margin there. Build a little faster than anticipated.
Yeah. Sec. Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
Of course, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's all just the details.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm gonna launch that tomorrow. I think I gotta call it for the night. So thanks for coming by.
Oh yeah, for sure. Glad to be here. I anticipate the next one is going to be setting up the launch tower mostly.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Something like
Thanks
that.
for having me.
Thanks for
Good
coming
night,
by.
everybody in the audience.
Yeah. Thank
I
you
like how
everyone for watching.
chatty, yeah, today's was.
Cool. Yeah, thank you everybody for watching. I will catch you next time. Bye.